no one knows about atom but the John Dalton, who firstly prescribed about what is actually the atom. But before we have to move on in the ancient time, our Indian scientist known as Indian scientist Maharishi Kannada, who proposed about, this is the not actually named as atom, but this one is called as Pramanu. Pramanu, that is the smallest or the tiny particles, are the basic unit of any substance or any matter. The Pramanu. And Pramanu, when they are combined, they are joined together, they can form Anu. And then the second phase, this one is prescribed in the form of atom, and that one is called as molecule. On the basis of these discoveries, it is further discoveries, further researches allow them to name as this Pramanu is known as atom and Anu is known as molecule. So on that behalf, we will discuss about what is the criteria to be taken, which one called as a Pramanu, which one called as a Anu. The basic difference between the smallest particles. Suppose you have a sand particles. So sands are made up of sand particles. The single particles, which is called as Pramanu, atom. And when there is a number of particles of sand, which is called as molecules, its molecule, which is in terms called as Anu. So on that behalf, there is notice that the Parmanu is considered to be as atom and Anu is considered to be as molecule. So we'll have to discuss about nature. So what is meaning of atom? As the discoveries and researches more developed and the scientists very firm about what is the smallest unit of any matter. So the matter is composed of what? Matter is actually composed of atom and molecule. So it is the what? It is the smallest and a basic unit of any substance. So on that behalf, it is considered an atom is what actually? An atom is said to be the basic unit of any substance or any matter which is combined to form molecules. And these atom and molecule are compositively called as any matter. So it is the smallest and a basic unit by which any material to be formed. So what are the other terms which is going to be used in terms of defining? On that particular basis is defined as it is an indivisible. What does it mean? What is mean of indivisible? That is the smallest one. It can't be further divided. Indivisible. It could not be further divided into its smaller form or the particles. But later on discovery, it is disproved. So John Dalton just described about the atom, which is indivisible, and the second one is smallest or very tiny. Two things are very important. First of all, there is nothing about the atom. So two things are very important. First one is what? That it is indivisible, and second it is very tiny. But later on discovery it is fails. He can't be capable. He is not capable to explain about what is actually an atom is. So further discoveries takes place. On that we have which is furtherly divided as actually the atom can be divisible and it can have its smaller particles, which is called as subatomic particles. What does it mean about the subatomic particles? These subatomic particles. What are these subatomic particles? These subatomic particles are what? Electron, proton and neutron. So, after successfully researches about the John Dalton, there is another scientist who developed their ideology, methodology. What is the name of this scientist? J.J. Thomson. So J.J. Thomson disproved it. J.J. Thomson disproved that is an atom is indivisible. Why? Why it is indivisible? Why it is disproved? Because atom can be divided in which form? Subatomic particles. And what is this subatomic particles called? Electron, proton and neutron. So according to the J.J. Thomson, the atom can be divided into three subatomic particles. But actually he can also be phased to explain where they can be settled, where they can be stabilized, where they must be found. What is the stability? All these things. These are the failure about are the demerits. What? Where they can be found, where they can be stay, where they can be stabilized. They knows about where the subatomic particles are now discovered. But actually where they can be settled, where they can be capable or might be there, have this stability, they can't be actually explainable. So what happened after the successfully discoveries of electron, proton and neutron? There is another methodology or theory or postulates come by the scientist. Name of the scientist who can discover about where the electron and proton may be exactly stable. Who can describe about? Ernest Rutherford. 1897. Ernest Rutherford. What is this theory called as? It is called as an experiment. He done a very great job about the atom. That is what? They are subatomic particles. That is electron, proton and neutron. So he has made a very grateful job to describe about where the electron, proton and neutron may present. What he have done? He have done an experiment on it. What is this experiment is? What is the experiment? The experiment is called alpha scattering alpha scattering model or alpha scattering experiment. So we will have to go through what alpha scattering what experiment, what it is known, an experiment. It is not actually the postulate, it is about experiment. So anything that can comes after the resultant being after passing through the experiment, that was very satisfied, that is very acceptable. So on that particular basis, the alpha scattering model or alpha scattering experiment, it is proved that where can be electron, proton and neutron be found are exactly stable, where they can be stable. So on this, what are the things are required? What are the material is required? The first of all, alpha rays. Where these alpha rays arise from? From where this can be arises, where they can be developed. It can be developed by radioactive element like radium, thorium, molybdenum, scandium, wherever number of radioactive elements. But it can what? The radioactive element can what? Emitted itself. So it has to be stored. In where they can be stored? It can be stored in through a lead box, from where these alpha rays develop. These alpha rays developed from here. But what is the nature of alpha rays? It is a doubly charged particles. It is what? Doubly charged particles called as 2He4. It can have double charge. Double charge means this is doubly charged. Two positive charges are. Whenever it bombards, there is what? Gold foil. Why he chooses as gold foil? Chooses as a gold foil. Why? Because this can be a very malleable, and this can be very malleable and can drawn into very thin sheets. So next after this, there is a gold foil. This gold foil, when penetrated, then these rays got penetrated. Last, that means a number of rays passing through it. Number of rays passing without any deviation. Number of rays pass through it without any deviation. But okay, because these are the number of rays which got exactly us. How many numbers? Near about 1200 rays are passes in which one of them can directly rebound it. One of them. And this one rebounded in its original pathway. Why? Suppose it is in a center, a very hard, rigid and same type of charged particles may present. So on that behalf, there is in between the center, very tiny, very rigid, very hard, same type of charges appear. Why? Because whenever these charged particles just repel, when they can repel, wherever the same charges are present. So there is the same charge present on that behalf. Whenever it is strikes, it gets back, bounces back on its original pathway. And it is proved that there is something, same type of a charges present on it. But the most of days passes, which is clear that, what clear? The clear that there is no charges at all. There is no charges. The most of the space of the atom are empty. There is no charge. But the sum of range got deviated either by some angles, either by a slight angle, either by more angles. So it is found there is something same charges may apply. So might be there is a small or the larger deviation. Larger angle deviation proved that there is a lot of charge. But the small angle there is some charges. So on that behalf we can say wherever the most space are available, so there is no any particles present. If there is no any particle present, this is all about empty. And rest of the other, wherever in the center, which type of a charge is present? This is the positive charges. And this discovery takes place. There is discovery of nucleus. The discovery of nucleus takes place by the Ernest Rutherford, as well as the establishment of what? Establishment of electron, proton, as well as neutron. So here is wherever the rays passes out without any deviation, that might be space free, and there is a place of electron. Electron may establish in behalf of or in surrounding to the nucleus in a space wherever the free space are available. So this discovery tells us about the exact position of electron, proton and neutron, and as well as discovery of nucleus. A way by which we can write about any atom. It is atom on watch. What is this? How the atom can be represented? Atom. This is what we can say. This is element or atom of element. How we can write? Atom of element. There is no charges. There is nothing there is no symbol, but this is called, this is atom. If these such type of atom are combined, what this can be formed? It is called Na3. What is this? This is molecule. How the molecule get formed? When the atom are same type of atom get combined. Whenever they combine, will form their molecules. It is the atom of an element. It is what? Atom of element. This is molecule of element. So, can you tell me what are the different form of atom and molecule be present over here? Whatever the element, on that behalf we can write these are all the form of, these are all the form of element. Is this element? These are all in the form of atom of an element. These are atom of an element. Now, these are molecules. So basic differences in when the same type of atom combined, more two or more, which is called as molecules. When they are single, they are in the form of atom. When they are in a single, there is nothing to combine. So that are atom of an element. So basic difference in